if you look at Christianity, there's been many examples of the role of the feminine that are really important and sometimes understated, like Mary as the mother of God,
Yeah.
um, and even the feminine side of Christ. Um, and in the Old Testament, or in the Torah, in the wisdom literature, Sophia, who was like the consort of God and there in the beginning with God. And so it's like God didn't create the feminine. The feminine was there with the Father, the divine Father at the beginning. And so it starts to, there are hints of more parity here in the Christian tradition. I don't know anything about Islam and the extent to which the Quran includes that kind of gender balance. I don't know.
But
Um,
what you do know is that the covering of the female body has gone
yeah,
on in Islam longer than anywhere else, and one that often when patriarchy across the board having been a human tendency from a certain view, yes, but I sometimes feel that the historical account of relations between men and women it it has a hard time accounting for female power because sometimes it manifests in ways that are difficult to quantify. So you look at a society and you see like, well, the official positions of power were occupied by men, but then these in the body language of women, they're signaling all kinds of desires and enticements that are controlling men oftentimes. That's and if you ask any really feminine person, period, but let's say women, about that, like they have no difficulty like acknowledging, oh yeah, I influence people all the time with my, in subtle ways. Um, and there's something so intense about covering the body of the woman because you're cutting that actually gets rid of feminine power. You can say you can't be the CEO of my company, but the CEO is still like responsive to your eye movements. Or, I guess you can still see the eye, but it's difficult. But the CEO is still being, is picking up all of these nonverbals from women all the time about what they expect from him and what what will make them see him the way he'd like to be seen through their eyes. And so I just don't think there's any real comparison as far as the effort to suppress any feminine influence on a society than making the female body invisible.
yeah. No, it's a huge problem and often leads to some hypocrisy among uh, Western progressives who want to protect Islam as a matter of, making sure that there's religious freedom and diversity, but don't often acknowledge the treatment of women, like gays for Palestine. If any gay or lesbian or queer person was in Gaza uh, under Hamas's rule, they wouldn't be
Stoned, yeah.